What if the only thing standing between you and financial freedom is a few daily habits? Most people aren't broke because they don't earn enough, they're broke because nobody ever taught them how money actually works. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 exact habits that financially stable people practice every single day, and by the end of this video, you'll know precisely how to start applying them, starting tonight. They pay themselves first, before anyone else gets a single dollar. Let's start with the habit that separates people who build wealth from people who simply survive paycheck to paycheck, and it's not about earning more. It's about one decision you make the moment your salary hits your account. Most people follow this order: income comes in, bills get paid, lifestyle gets funded, groceries, eating out, subscriptions, impulse buys, and then, if anything is left over at the end of the month, they save it. That leftover amount? For most people, it's close to zero. And they wonder why their savings account never grows. Financially stable people completely flip this sequence. The moment money enters their account, the very first transaction, before rent, before groceries, before a single bill, is a fixed transfer into their savings or investment account. This is what experts call paying yourself first, and it is the single most powerful saving strategy ever documented in personal finance history. Here's why it works on a psychological level: your brain adapts to whatever amount is left after that first transfer. If you move $200 into savings the moment you get paid, your brain automatically treats the remaining balance as your total budget. You stop seeing that $200 as spendable money, because you never had access to it in the first place. It disappears before the temptation even begins. The best way to execute this? Automate it completely. Set up an automatic transfer scheduled for the same day your paycheck arrives. Don't rely on willpower. Don't tell yourself you'll move it later. Because later always turns into never. The moment you automate your savings, you remove the human element, and human beings are terrible at consistently choosing the future over the present. Automation fixes that permanently. Start small if you have to. Even if it's just 5% of your income, start today. Then increase it by 1% every single month. You will not feel that 1% difference in your daily life, but 12 months from now, you'll be saving 17% of your income without ever feeling financially strained. That is the power of systems over willpower, and financially stable people understand this better than anyone. They know exactly where every single dollar goes, no exceptions. Here is a question most people cannot answer honestly: where did your money go last month? Not roughly. Not, I think I spent a lot on food. Exactly. To the last dollar. If you hesitated even for a second, this habit is the one that will change your financial life the fastest. Financially stable people are not guessing about their money. They are not hoping things add up at the end of the month. They track every single transaction, every coffee, every subscription, every impulse purchase, because they understand one fundamental truth: you cannot manage what you do not measure. This is not about being obsessive or restrictive. This is about awareness. Studies in behavioral economics have consistently shown that people who track their spending automatically spend less, not because they cut anything, but simply because the awareness of being watched, even by yourself, changes your behavior. The moment you start writing down that you spent $6 on coffee 4 times this week, something shifts in your brain. You start making different choices. Not because someone told you to, but because the data made it impossible to keep lying to yourself. The most common excuse people give for not tracking is that it takes too much time. But here's the reality: the top budgeting apps today, Inab, Mint, or even a simple Google Sheet, can sync with your bank automatically and categorize your spending in real time. You can review your entire month's finances in under 10 minutes. 10 minutes a week in exchange for complete clarity over every dollar you earn and spend. That is arguably the highest return on time investment you will ever make in your entire financial life. Here is what financially stable people actually do: they sit down once a week, some call it a money date, and they review their spending from the past 7 days. They check if they are on track with their monthly budget. They catch any suspicious charges. They adjust if a category is running over. This weekly ritual takes 15 minutes maximum, and it is the reason they never get to the end of the month shocked by their bank balance. They always know exactly where they stand, and that knowledge alone gives them a level of financial confidence that most people never experience. Start this week. Pull up your last 30 days of bank statements right now. Categorize every transaction. Add up what you spent on food, entertainment, subscriptions, transport, and everything else. What you find will probably surprise you, and that surprise is exactly the wake-up call that changes everything. Habit 3, segment opens. They absolutely refuse to lifestyle creep, no matter how much they earn. This is the habit that almost nobody talks about, and it is quietly destroying the financial futures of millions of people who earn great salaries and still have nothing to show for it at the end of the year. It has a name, lifestyle creep. And if you have ever gotten a raise and somehow still felt broke 3 months later, you have already experienced it firsthand. Here is exactly how it happens. You get a promotion. Your salary increases by $500 a month. For about 2 weeks, you feel amazing. Then slowly, almost invisibly, your expenses begin to rise to match your new income. You upgrade your apartment. You start eating at slightly nicer restaurants. You buy a newer car because you feel like you can finally afford it. You add 2 or 3 new subscriptions. None of these individual decisions feel dramatic in the moment, each one feels completely justified, completely reasonable, completely earned. But here is the brutal mathematical reality: if your income increases by $500 and your expenses increase by $500, your net worth moves exactly $0 forward. You are running faster on the treadmill and getting nowhere. You earn more, you spend more, and you save exactly the same, which for most people is almost nothing. This is how people end up earning 6 figures and still living paycheck to paycheck, which is far more common than most people are willing to admit publicly. The salary goes up, the lifestyle follows, and the savings gap never closes. Financially stable people make one powerful decision every time their income increases: they deliberately choose to keep their lifestyle exactly where it is, at least for 6 to 12 months. They take that raise and immediately redirect it toward savings or investments before their lifestyle even gets a chance to adjust. Their expenses stay flat. Their wealth grows fast. A simple rule to follow: every time your income increases, save at least 50% of that increase before spending a single dollar of it. Your lifestyle can grow, just let your savings grow faster. Habit 4, segment opens. They build an emergency fund, and they never touch it. Ask most people what would happen if they lost their job tomorrow, or if their car broke down, or if a medical bill arrived unexpectedly, and the honest answer for the majority is panic. Not a plan. Panic. Because they have no financial buffer between their normal life and a crisis situation. Financially stable people never find themselves in that position, because they obsessively protect one thing above everything else: their emergency fund. This is a dedicated, untouched, separate account that holds between 3 to 6 months of their total living expenses. Not 3 to 6 months of income. 3 to 6 months of expenses: rent, food, utilities, transport, everything it costs to keep your life running. This fund does one specific job: it makes sure that when life hits you, and life will always hit you eventually, you handle it with cash instead of debt. No panic. No credit card. No borrowing from family. Just calm, controlled problem solving because the money is already there waiting. The biggest mistake people make is treating this fund like a savings account they can dip into for non-emergencies. A sale on something you wanted is not an emergency. A vacation is not an emergency. Keep this account completely separate from your regular spending accounts, ideally in a different bank, so the temptation to touch it stays as low as possible. Start small if you have to. Even $500 in a separate emergency account is infinitely better than zero. Then build it slowly and consistently until you hit that 3 to 6 month target. The day you complete your emergency fund, your entire relationship with money changes. Stress drops. Confidence rises. You stop making desperate financial decisions because desperation is no longer an option. Habit 5, segment opens. They make their money work, while they sleep. Financially stable people understand one truth that changes everything: there are only 24 hours in a day, and you can only trade your time for money for so many of those hours. At some point, your income has a ceiling, unless your money is also working alongside you. This is why they invest consistently, without waiting for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment never comes. They put their money into assets that grow over time: index funds, stocks, real estate, and they let compound interest do the heavy lifting. Here is the concept that makes this so powerful: compound interest means you earn returns not just on your original money, but on every previous return as well. Your money grows on top of itself, year after year. The longer you stay invested, the more aggressive that growth becomes. The biggest mistake people make: waiting. Every year you delay investing is a year of compounding you can never get back. You do not need a lot of money to start. You need consistency and time, and the best time to start is always right now. Start with whatever you can afford. Even $50 a month invested consistently over 30 years can grow into something that genuinely changes your life, not because of the amount, but because of the time and consistency behind it. Financially stable people are not investing millions. They are investing regularly, staying patient, and trusting the process completely. The key rule they follow: never invest money you cannot afford to leave alone for at least 5 years. Investments need time to work. The people who lose money in the market are almost always the ones who panic and pull out too early. Stay in. Stay consistent. Let time do what time does best. So there you have it, the 5 money habits of people who never struggle financially. Pay yourself first. Track every dollar. Refuse lifestyle creep. Build your emergency fund. And make your money work while you sleep. None of these habits require a high salary. None of them require a finance degree. They only require one thing: a decision. A decision to start today, not next month, not after your next raise, today. Because the people who are financially free right now did not wait for the perfect moment. They just started. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be is smaller than you think. It is just a few daily habits away. If this video helped you, smash that like button and subscribe, because every week I break down exactly how money works so you can make it work for you.